Angie Dickinson is a name that instantly brings back memories of classic Hollywood glamour. She was a star who captured the hearts of millions with her talent, confidence, and unforgettable presence on screen. From powerful movie roles to television success, she became one of the most recognizable faces of her era. But beyond her acting, Angie Dickinson also became a symbol of bold confidence and timeless style through a series of photographs that revealed a daring, self-assured side of her personality. Today, we are going to explore that lesser-discussed side of Angie Dickinson, always respectfully, and understand why those images left such a lasting impression. Angie Dickinson was born in 1931 in Culm, North Dakota, and her journey to Hollywood stardom was anything but ordinary. She began her career in the 1950s, a time when the Hollywood studio system tightly controlled how actors looked, dressed, and behaved. Many actresses had little say over their public image. Angie, however, stood out. She had a natural confidence that could not be easily contained, and that quality helped her rise above the limitations of the era. Her breakthrough came with memorable roles in films like Rio Bravo and Ocean's 11, where she shared the screen with legendary actors. Audiences noticed not just her beauty, but her presence. She carried herself with strength and ease. Angie was never just a background figure. She owned every scene she appeared in, and that same confidence later translated into her photography. At a time when promotional photos were carefully staged and conservative, Angie Dickinson's images felt different. Some of her photos showed her in bold outfits and striking poses that were considered daring for the time. These images did not feel forced or sensational. Instead, they reflected a woman who was comfortable in her own skin and unafraid to express herself. For many fans, this was surprising, but also refreshing. What made these photos so talked about was not simply what Angie wore, but how she wore it. Her expressions were relaxed, her posture natural, and her confidence undeniable.
She did not pose to shock people.
She posed with self-assurance, and that energy came through clearly. In an era when women were often expected to appear modest and restrained, Angie's photos quietly challenged those expectations. It is important to remember that Angie Dickinson was never defined by photographs alone. She was a respected actress who worked with some of the greatest directors of her time and earned awards for her performances. Her role in the television series Policewoman later cemented her status as a trailblazer, showing that women could lead serious, dramatic television shows. The bold photos simply added another dimension to her public image. They did not replace her talent. Photographers loved working with Angie because she brought life to every image. She understood lighting, movement, and expression in a way that made each photo feel timeless. Even decades later, her images still feel elegant rather than outdated. Fashion historians often point to her photos as examples of how confidence, not trends, creates lasting style. What is especially fascinating is how these images influenced future generations. Angie Dickinson showed that a woman could be both graceful and bold, classy and confident. She proved that embracing one's image does not mean losing dignity. Instead, it can be a form of self-expression and strength. Even today, Angie Dickinson remains a powerful symbol of classic Hollywood confidence. Her photos remind us of a time when breaking unspoken rules required courage. They also remind us that true charm comes from authenticity, not from following expectations set by others. So, what can we learn from Angie Dickinson and the reaction to her bold images? First, confidence is timeless. Second, self-expression is powerful when it comes from authenticity. And finally, talent and character always matter more than appearances. Angie's photos were never about attention. They were about ownership of self. Angie Dickinson's legacy is one of courage, talent, and unforgettable style. She will always be remembered not just for how she looked, but for how she carried herself. Her story reminds us that being confident, being true to yourself, and embracing who you are is what truly makes someone unforgettable. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed learning about this lesser-discussed side of Angie Dickinson, be sure to explore her films, interviews, and classic performances. Her impact on Hollywood and on confidence itself will never fade.